Hi, thanks for tuning in to another dose of bite-sized bits of knowledge where we give you meaningful information in a short amount of time. Today, we are wrapping up the discussion on exit planning. We are, prior to this time, we've covered, what is it? Why should you care? What goes into it in the way of high-level legal, financial, and just organization. We talked about deal points in the following video that you might want to see as a buyer and you might not want to see as a seller, and how they kind of do like this. And believe it or not, two good collaborative attorneys can make a better deal than one good one bad one, or one collaborative one uncollaborative one, or none at all. Today's video, we're going to talk about a really important point. We're talking about a business, exiting a business and making it shiny and attractive to a buyer to get both a better price and more favorable terms. We've alluded to that many times at this point. And so building on that, I want to mention that when we're talking about a system business transitioning and key people staying on to help it transition, it's really important to start thinking about this in advance. Because if you're the business, if you're it, and you go on vacation, or you're sick, your business is going to slow down to a halt. And that decreases your value. If you have some people and the business runs, but it doesn't run as well, that decreases your value, but less decrease. And if you have a business that's not as dependent on you, where you could step away for a few weeks and it runs well, then that is much more attractive to a buyer because it's not dependent on anyone or anything. And that brings us to the discussion of systems. And it's important to talk about systems for two reasons. One is because you can't just do this overnight. And two, it's really going to get you a better purchase price and more favorable terms. So what do systems mean? It means you're thinking about your processes from start to finish. How you attract clients, how you acquire clients, what medium you're doing that effectively, how it gets into your system, your CRM system, how they are, work is done, who's working on them, is it software, that's just all flowing through a software program, how it's going through the process of work and how the post, conclusion of work is being done. If it's, whether it's a lawyer who has clients going through the office from start to finish, or a plumber, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. It's a business with systems. It has people, software, processes. And the more you can build these processes so that you could say, here buyer, here's our business, here's how it works, here's the operation manual, here's who does what. And the more you can make yourself, or I should say, the more you can make yourself less dependent. In other words, the more you can make the business run without you or without key people, dramatically will impact your purchase price and your favorability of terms, because that's really attractive to a buyer. So you cannot do that overnight, and it's important to start thinking about that now so you can get all these things we talked about in terms of exit planning done: legal, financial, organization, systems. And once that's all done, I would say 3 to 5 years is a great starting point. You really can start to think about selling your business for maximum value. Obviously, there's other factors that are in play here, like the economy, interest rates going up, which they are now, which make the cost of money more expensive to borrow to buy a business. If we're in a recession or a boom, obviously these things, are going to affect the business sale process, and you may not be able to get as great of a price, but you're going to get a better price with the things I'm telling you than if you don't do them. So give it some thought. Make sure you're not trying to sell overnight. Certainly, if you inherit a business in an estate or an inheritance, don't just try to sell it right away, because you're not going to have these things buttoned up, and your family is going to pay for it. So I hope you found this series helpful on exit planning. There's more to come, but thank you for stopping by, and stay tuned for more.